Welcome to the game 2. wttg is a challenge that's hard as balls, and there's only one guide available, and to be honest, while it is a good guide, it's poorly structured and long as hell. That is why, after the recent huge success that I saw on my wttg video, I decided to condense our journey and gameplay into something that is only a guide, in case you don't give a flying shit about what me and Static went through and just want to know how you can finish this mode easier. In case you do want to see all that, I recommend you do, it will be linked in the description as well as in the top right corner of the screen right now. Before starting, I do want to shout out Static for finishing this challenge with me and playing every single minute with me, Insym for making the original guide with some amazing tips and strategies that will be covered here, and a huge shout out to Fierce Thunder, who not only created the most important tool we are about to use for this guide, but who also personally helped me create this guide. So let's get to it. Firstly, if you have no idea what wttg is, or even welcome to the game 2, then this video is not for you. Go watch the other video because that is for everyone. It explains the basic of the game and of the wttg mode. This video will continue with the assumption that you know what's happening, and that you want to beat this yourself, or at least just understand everything better. This guide will be divided into 4 major parts: dealing with threats, how to search the sites for maximum time efficiency, the hacks, and other tips and tricks. These are all the things that can make a player lose in this mode, other than some really unfortunate RNG, but we'll get to that. So the threats are the following: Lucas, Noir, Breather, and the police. This video will not go into how to deal with a doll maker, because if you have to deal with him, just don't. The threats work in a cycle that is mostly respected. This is Lucas, Blackout/Noir, and then a hack. It mostly starts with Lucas and works in this order. However, I had instances that also started with the hack. A Blackout should come after Lucas. This cycle, however, isn't 100% reliable. Later in runs, you will see that a lot of things do tend to change in this cycle, like Lucas not coming or something happening early. But mostly, especially in the beginning of a run, the game abides by this. Even though this cycle strategy or tip seems unreliable, it helped us a lot, even when we got good at the game. The Noir is very easy to avoid. Just like in a normal game, don't run into him and turn your back if you see him. Easy as that. Lucas is dealt with in the following way. Before you buy the motion sensor and motion alert, you have to watch out for his quiet noise. When he makes that noise, turn off your PC and run to the closet, turning off this light. You can exit the closet while his leaving animation is still playing. Now note that the first threat, mostly Lucas, can only come after 10:10 PM in game time. After he leaves, he will be deactivated for about 3 in real life minutes. You actually only need one motion sensor to counter him, which can be placed as such right under the door handle. After getting enough money to buy a remote VPN and a motion sensor, wait until Lucas comes again, and then leave to get them. You can place the motion sensor right away, but I recommend waiting another cycle to go and search for a VPN green spot. Now this brings us to the next threat, the Breather. The Breather is again very easy to counter. He spawns almost always, if not always, and you just need to hold down his door handle. You only need to go to the alleyway once to collect one remote VPN and one motion sensor, which can be shipped at the same time. The next threat is the police, which, as you know, tracks you down if you don't switch your Wi-Fi. Now for switching, I don't recommend getting Skybreak and hacking Wi-Fi networks, because that can overcomplicate things. The best way to avoid the police is to switch networks every 6 IRL minutes. You can do this by switching using the in-game clock, switching after 12 in-game minutes, or by using another program, such as LiveSplit, which I personally recommend because it always appears on your screen and has global hotkeys. It's an app mostly used by speedrunners, which I'm sure you've seen before. Every 6 in real life minutes, you should switch your dongle from the desk to the bed, or from the bed to the desk. Now it doesn't need to be exactly 6 minutes, the ideal switch is between 5.5 and 6.5 minutes, but do not switch earlier, as that will cause the police to come, since the Wi-Fi's also have a cooldown timer. Now if you turn off your PC, you don't have to worry about the Wi-Fi timer. So for example, if Lucas comes in at 5:30 and leaves at 8, considering you turned off your PC at 5:30, you just have to switch the Wi-Fi at 8, and then count 6 minutes from there. You might have realized that the Wi-Fi switch has joined the cycle. In most cases, instantly after Lucas comes, the power goes out, and after that you will need to switch Wi-Fi. Instantly after switching, you will get hacked, having time on that same Wi-Fi theoretically until Lucas comes again. Okay. Now that we talked about the threats, let's talk about key searching. There are a few important tips for key/wiki searching. I'm going to start with the basic stuff, like you can only find wiki2 in the source code of a homepage, not on every site, meaning it cannot spawn on a subpage. The rule of 3 is a loud site, and I recommend either doing it fast if you find wiki2 early, but make sure to finish it before Lucas can spawn at 10:10. If not, wait until you have the motion sensor and motion alert set up as to not worry about Lucas. The keys are always arranged in the following way: 2 keys in wiki 1, 3 keys in wiki 2, and 3 keys in wiki 3. Now, for the most important tool there is, courtesy of Fierce Thunder, the admin of the Welcome to the Game 2 wiki, the Welcome to the Game 2 assistant, a tool that shows a lot of stuff, and will be linked in the description, but what I want to focus on is the website click points. Each site has red, yellow and green markers. The green and the yellow are clickables of the site, while the red is where the key can spawn. This is the most efficient tool because it gets rid of one of the worst threats in the game: time. You also have the feature to quick import all the sites by copying the whole wiki into this tool. We didn't use this feature because we were using 2 devices when playing the game, so it would just be harder. Then you obviously want to search the shorter sites first, and then the longer sites. I categorize the sites into 4 categories. The first, tiny sites. Sites like I, The Hall, Vacation and One List. Then, small sites. Sites like Don't Waste It and Keepsake. Normal sites like The Granddaddy, The Grey, Drone Spy. And huge sites like Evidence Locker or Thanks for Visiting. There are also 2 sites I recommend avoiding. These being I Am Here, because you can't really use the tool and you have to manually check the whole site, and the Doll Maker, because it triggers the Doll Maker threat. Now, for the layout you will be using to search for keys, this is what you want to do. Basically, you have a big source code on the screen to easily see everything faster. And then, you full screen the site to have the same layout as the assistant. Let's now get to the third part of the video: the hacks. The hacks obviously get way more complicated. Now, a very good tool to practice the hacks is the hacker mode, which isn't available in vanilla Welcome to the Game 2. I never used this tool because I got really good at the hacks before it was created, but now that it exists, I feel like I should mention it. A new mod called Welcome to the Game 2 Plus launched, and with it a hacker mode that lets you practice all the hacks, so just use that to get better at the hacks. It will be linked in the description. Now, you also kind of have to pray to RNGesus to get a decent hack, because we have gotten this hack before, which is horrible, and also this one, which is straight up impossible. Other tips and tricks are the following. Firstly, don't get the key queue. With the Welcome to the Game 2 assistant, you basically don't waste a lot of time searching for keys anyways. And while yes, time is very limited in this game, I think it's a huge risk to save up that much money for a key queue, considering you can lose everything in an instant. Another important tip is to conserve your flashlight, because it will run out pretty fast, and once it runs out, you are done. I recommend flashing it on and off while walking in the darkness, because let's be real, you don't want to lose a 7-key run because your flashlight battery died. You can also lock your door and pick up your flashlight in the beginning while sites load in order to save like 20 seconds. But that's basically only if you are speedrunning this, and I presume that if you are speedrunning this, then you don't need a guide to beat it. If you want to get hacked faster, you can fondle the dongle by just picking it up and placing it down. Or so I thought. This is because Insym used to do this in his videos, but Fierce Thunder said that he is pretty sure that fondling has nothing to do with getting hacked. You should wait a little bit after Lucas comes before changing networks, because most likely the blackout will happen right after, and you wouldn't want to activate a timer before the blackout, because that leaves less time on said Wi-Fi network. After you have the necessary DOS coin to win, I recommend just doing the zone will hack minigame, as to not further risk your DOS coin disappearing because you are nervous or the RNG isn't on your side. Better safe than sorry. There are a lot more tips I can give, like using in real life notes instead of the in-game notes, but again, this video is for those who have beaten the main game, or at least understand it, and want to take the experience a step further. I do want to mention a very weird thing that happened to us while we were playing. Lucas came while there was a blackout. Run to the bathroom! In this situation, just hide in the bathroom. But do know that Lucas can and will steal your DOS coin. The PC might be turned off because of the blackout, but because you haven't turned it off by yourself, Lucas can steal DOS coin. This little mechanical quirk is kind of a blessing in disguise. The PC registers as on, so the motion sensor noise still plays. Yes, you sacrifice a few DOS coin to Lucas, but without this programming quirk, you wouldn't really even know that Lucas is coming. Another tip is using VPN levels, something that we didn't even touch during our playthrough because we didn't think about them. But Fierce Thunder was quick to point them out. They basically reduce your chance of getting hacked, which is amazing after you already have the money for the Noir tunnel, and can save you from intense situations like these. Okay, whatever, you can do this, it's easy, it's easy.
I'm scared, I'm shaking.
Don't
I'm shaking.
Don't be.
No.
The VPNs can be toggled, so don't worry if you lose your money and all of a sudden want to get hacked again. Another reason you should respect the Wi-Fi change rule is that reconnecting to networks on cooldown in 1.7 mode cuts additional time off their tracking timers. Now, everyone plays this game in their own way. I recommend doing what we did because I feel like it's the easiest way to beat it. It is worth mentioning that going out to get packages can be risky on 1.7 because of prolonged time spent outside the apartment. The motion sensor and remote VPN aren't necessary to beat the game or counter Lucas, but they do make the game significantly easier. If you want to beat this game with no packages, or a key queue, or with the in-game time, you can. I'm just laying down all the options. I really hope you enjoyed this guide, and I hope it helped. Again, I really appreciate the amazing support on my 127 video. I really am amazed by how much this channel has grown in such a small time window. You truly are amazing. Huge shout out again to Static, which has beaten this mod alongside of me. Huge shout out to Insym for providing a guide. He's a far better player than I am and knows the game way better, so I recommend checking out his videos as well. The only reason I didn't like his guide is that it is an unscripted, unedited VOD of him just talking over a run, and I wanted to bring what he found closer to the people with this edited guide. And the biggest shout out of them all to the creator of the most important tool in this guide himself, Fierce Thunder, who helped me fact check and write a script for this very video. If you want to watch us attempt other early strategies that didn't turn out to work, you can find a video of me and Static's journey into this mode, a journey that lasted over 3 years. Oh, and also don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell, because Scrutinized Nightmare mode is coming soon, or at least as soon as I can humanly beat it.